Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of the Quickview series. Today we've got what is, I'm pretty sure, the biggest tire here. I'm pretty certain. If not exclusively, you really need it against something. There we go. 19 Baja Pro X. Team Ottsix Voodoo Kryptonite Kustoms USD Sticky. The side-luggiest side lug to ever lug on the side. Vex Red compound, Vex competition compound, 5.75 by 2.25 by 2.2, which is a commonly stated size for tires of this nature, but it's got to be bigger than that because what cannot be discounted are things like this. Okay, first off, this is a bouncer tire, yes. Second off, the lugs are between 7 and 8 millimeters tall. As such, this tire runs a fairly small foam. The foam is 135 by 40 because the actual carcass of the tire is not that big. This is also the most ridiculous scale tire that there is. When I first got these, I Googled it, and you can buy these for a side-by-side, apparently. And they look just as insane as this, which was crazy to me. These are definitely aimed toward the bouncer crowd, as we've got full ribbing and full belting, and the carcass is not thin. Even the carcass in between the ribs, and the ribs go way, we're actually double ribbed on the side, and full belts all the way around. Definitely looking more at a bouncer category, but so is this a redux? Is this we're just gonna do it as a quick view because I don't think we've ever quick viewed them before. They've been here for a minute. They are, I guess, what you would call semi-optimized. You can see some feathering on that monster lug. This is one of those issues where I don't know what to expect because they're going to go on the Wolverine, and our PSI is going to be, for a tire that's as big as it is, our PSI is going to be particularly high. As our contact pad, like, don't look at the size of the tire, ignore the size of the tire. Just look at the amount of the tire that's actually touching the ground. It's like somebody took a cylinder and glued cinder blocks to it, and that's what we've got with these. But they are Vex Red, and this is the included foam, which is pretty well suited. I mean, other than the Rift or someone with an old bomber, I don't know specifically who else these would be aimed at. I think that's about it. Okay, we'll do sizer first. We got to do two sizers. We have to size all of the dimensions. 154. I think we have tested a tire taller than that. I don't think that is the tallest one. And also, please do take into account that if I just guesstimate where the lugs end, this tire is about 135 millimeters tall, which is like, it's almost an LP. If you were to cut all the lugs off, this would be like the same size as a 2.2 Canyon Trail. And they are 59 millimeters wide, which is second only to maybe third place between HPI Hot Bodies Rovers, 2.2 Rovers, and 2.2 Panther Cougars. Are wider than these, but only just. That is a serious side lug. The third dimension that we have to weigh this in, that would be the we'd call that in the X and the Y axis, I guess. We'll call this the Z axis. This is a single tire with foam installed, and it weighs 243 grams. It is an absolute mass of rubber. That means the four of these are just a hair shy of a kilogram without wheels. In 192.2, I don't think anything is, I don't think anything approaches that weight. We're going the big rings, 30 millimeter rings, and because they're so big, it just drops in. Oh, I do have to remember what side I'm mounting it for. This one. I used absolutely nothing I could feel that click in. And because these are the big wide boys, they just drop together. You can basically bottom out the halves. You don't even need to cross tighten. You just get the first one down. These are the tire that you are well and truly least likely to rip a sidewall. If you rip a sidewall on one of these, you're probably doing 40 miles an hour with your Rift and got it caught on some rebar. But in a normal circumstance, I can't see it. So we're going to ask it to do that which it, in my mind and estimation, was not designed to do. It was not designed to do. These are firm. And the firmness, like, you get in there, that feels just about right. Feels on par with any of the other big 575 2.2s. But when you have these big, like the dial of a clock, they really stiffen up the side. So they're going to make the sides act particularly rigid. We're not going to get a lot of we're going to be relying on that shoulder lug for everything. I can't remember. This is the beauty. The beauty of aging is that you forget. You can't remember anymore. I can reread books again. I can't remember what these tires drive like at all. I can't remember. They were removed from RoboKitty, the Crawler Rift here, in favor of 2.2 Tusks. And I just know 2.2 Tusks, the big ones, the 579s. I just know that the Tusks did better. So we go with what's better because it has been converted to a crawler. This is a bouncer tire. It just is. So anything we see out of this, we're going to give this bouncer tire a crawler score. So you're going to have to take that with as many grains of salt as you deem necessary, because we are, in my estimation, asking this tire to do that for which it was not specifically designed. But at the same time, you know, like say, I think if we can get a hook, it's still Vex Red, man. How powerful can a compound be? We're asking a lot. We're asking a lot here. This is a tire for like Rifts and Bombers. We're going to ask it to do non-Rift, non-Bomber stuff. And we're going to see how it does. They're really firm. They're really, really firm. So the beauty for me of taking what is almost certainly a bouncer-specific tire and asking it to do crawler things is that, I thought he had it. This is a win-win scenario because this is not a tire suited to this. So whatever this tire does, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. It also, as a side effect / bonus, it makes other very crawler-specific tires not look so good. I don't anticipate grip on level with a Tusk or a Megalithic or what have you from J Concepts. But this Vex Red, Vex Competition Compound, ooh, that turn-in was crispy. It just, again, bunch of cinder blocks glued to a cylinder. So we get right into here. We get right into here. We get the top tire over. Now see watch that low side tire. Oh, we got it. We got it. Now, the tire that was fighting to pull up was the fresh mound. I harp on it a lot. There's definitely something to the relationship between tire and insert. And I don't just mean like density of the foam or the orientation of the two-stage or whatever. I mean that when you mount a foam in a tire and you mount the tire on a wheel, they gotta marinate. They gotta get together and agree. If we can shuttle, I mean, as it's a bouncer tire, it's completely not unexpected that a little bit more throttle is rewarded. The fact that it can do the lower, slower stuff and that the turn-in is super tight. Now they are more firm. So you're not getting the squidge. We're not gonna get any balloon, we're not gonna get any bag. Thicker carcass, belting, ribbing. That's a decent shuttle. That's not the line. That was a big shuttle. We used our, with the wheels, we gotta be at between 12 and 1,300 grams in wheel tire, which is putting the he's probably over 50% unsprung right now. Stability tends to go up. Now, in other situations, we will get to see if that big weight pretty far out on an axle has any negative. Like we'll get that pendulum effect right there. Evidenced. Could not catch it. Once that weight had passed, we were past that point, the tip point, you can't reverse out of it. But if you were, say, in the air and you wanted to straighten out the attitude of your vehicle, I think you could do that. Oh, yep. I have mentioned in others, tires overpowering the servo. This is definitely one of those instances. They're so big and so heavy. It honestly, there are moments. Oh, there are moments it feels like it's broken. There's just so much weight that it's pulling the speed control thinks that it's going to cut off like that. And then it'll go a little while, and then it'll cut off, and then it'll go a little while. Because we're trying to move so much weight that I want to say the cutoff is at 3.8 volts. They're so heavy, it thinks it's in cutoff. Every time you hit the throttle, it's pulling it to cutoff. And it's not. I have to change the battery because we need absolutely fully charged. Like, we'll get a badoop, but we still have full throttle. Maybe too much weight for what we got going on. Or, and follow me here because potential possibilities are possible. I took the battery out from the last test, set it on the bench, and then put it right back in. 3.5 volts per cell, and the cutoff is set at 3.8. So he's very sprightly now. Oh. They're so heavy. The tires are so heavy that they bully everything around. A, bouncer tire. Yes, B. 3625 Outrunner? Probably not. Probably not the joint. I would say his everyday combo weighs 60% of what this set weighs. We got that clearance. That would also explain why the servo felt like it was being overwhelmed. Servo feels a lot better now. They really punch up above what they should. This is compound shining through. A lot of time you're asking yourself, what are we seeing? Is this compound? Is this carcass? Is this the marriage of the two? Some compounds work better in some tread patterns. If this was not the case, then every tire would pretty much behave the same. This is a carcass that is far too robust. That spinning that we're getting right there that we can overwhelm with trigger input, with velocity. Compound is doing great. It's doing great. And a lot of these super soft, super stickies, like Vex Red, Vanquish Red, Dawnwall, because they tend to be married to a carcass that is so thin and so supple and so pliable, it makes insert selection overwhelmingly difficult. If you make any amount of substantial changes to your vehicle, all of a sudden your inserts don't work anymore. These are not that. These tires are not specifically suited to anything we're doing right now. But they're doing it. They're doing something asked of them. It's bonus points for that. Yeah. A lot of tires, particularly when you get into those previously mentioned super soft, super supple, super sticky, when you ask them to accept more throttle input than they would like, they go, no, that's not. They go, oh, we're not going to do that. These don't mind, and these are expensive, but I'm kind of now seeing the niche. A lot of tires I don't get. We're going to make a scale tire just because it's scale. Doesn't matter that it doesn't grip, doesn't perform well, it has no side lug to it, it doesn't have this, it doesn't do that. We're just going to make it scale because it's scale. And then we can say officially licensed by. These are tires that can, and I think we've seen a bit of it at this point, these are tires that can rock crawl. Despite not being rock crawling tires, not only can they rock crawl, they're better than a lot of other tires at rock crawling, which is an endorsement of the USD Sticky and a tacit condemnation of the other ones that are like, yes, we make, and I'm adjusting an invisible tie here, we make tires for crawling. These aren't tires for crawling, but you know what they're doing right now? Yeah. Let's see. If we can get over this, the weight of these, I do not foresee an end swap. No. Did we even lift? Did we have any lift at all coming down that? These are, you know what? They're kind of great. If you want pure crawling, this isn't it. But if you want a tire that is comfortable going 40 miles an hour, but also crawling, I would have to sit. We've got some time. I will sit and contemplate, is there even another one? If the considerations are bounces, ... also crawls, man, I don't know. Generally, you can do one or the other. And when I say one or the other, I mean one or the other. You can do one, and then you will be terrible at the other one. You know what these are? Will it lift? No. Because moving there through the region, the zone of grip and slip, they slip just enough, but they grip more than one would anticipate. Actually got a tire in the air there. You can see that the vehicle's forward progression is less than the forward progression of the tire. Like, we're getting four-wheel slip here. But it's controllable, and it's not turning into just an absolute lack of maneuverability, which is surprising. Like, coming across this face right here, I know if I go like this, we will go that way. Because we have a nice grabby compound, but we don't have a carcass that they made to be like, yes, this is just a bunch of uninflated balloons rolled together into a ball. So it's super sticky, but it's also completely foldy. This tire relies on mechanicals. Big side lug, make grip. Also, those side lugs act as sidewall stiffeners, as I mentioned. There is no side deflection. I'm giving no steering input. None. I'm just pulling the trigger. Forward drive is going to be less than something else in the same size. Rock Beast 2, Hyrax, Tusk, any of those 575, 579s. It's going to be less. But if you ask those to go fast, they're going to go, no. Every time I whip this thing around in a U-turn, I give it a little Owen Wilson, wow. And I don't know why. I know that it should turn tight because we're getting good lug engagement with the ground. And also the sidewalls are so stiff that it's not deflecting out of the way. You can drive these on the sides. Pure forward? Never really, okay. I don't know if anyone else has made that has made that over the top. Can he do this in one shot, no correction? Look at that. There's no tip. Like, it's just fully engaged. Nice. 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 Nice and slow through here. They really do bully everything around. They really do. They're so heavy. Be aware, if whatever your vehicle is that you intend to outfit with the Team Ottsix Kryptonite Kustoms, Voodoo Team Ottsix Kryptonite Kustoms USD Sticky in Vex Red compound, your servo, man. 50 kg on axle is basically like the minimum. This is barely enough to move these. You're gonna want a big boy servo to move these around. But you'll have some money to spend on them because you're not gonna have to rush out and buy foams like you would with others. I feel like I'm just talking to rift people. Like, if you're not in a rift, or one, I mean, if you're building your own, or if you're build a bouncer, then yeah, that as well. But I feel it's necessary to point out the obvious. Building a big old bouncer, you need to be building a big old bouncer because these are big. This is a tire that honestly, we were there. We made the top. I would love to see the USD Sticky in an LP. We're not going to, but I would love to because I think that would expand the range of fitments a lot. The number of vehicles that will fit these big dogs, nice, really good. there's this very consistent lack of traction at the limit. Predictably, like, you get to a point on the hill, rock, whatever you have, and when it starts to lose grip, see those little fallbacks? Any other tire, if you call yourself a crawler tire outright, oh, that was really nice right there. Little right there, little shutter sliver, get a little back, yeah. If you call yourself a crawler tire and you have to struggle bus like that, points off. I take no points away from these for that. This is not their jam. Their jam would look more like this. Oh, the bump score would be. Don't do it. Don't do it. Those are, those are more than big enough to break another axle. You're going to get some energy return out of these. It's almost like you can make them bounce. More, a surprising amount of grip. And then right there, at that limit, I'm doing it again. At the limit, the traction falls. But that traction is not, it's not that it's gone. It's not that it doesn't exist. It's just not right there. That traction exists when you're doing 30 miles an hour through a field of rocks or something equally dangerous. We have subbed out old test point 9, and by that we mean new old test point 9, which is back over there at gate 5 for teardrop, because teardrop is surface transition. And I think, who's driving these through gates? Unless there's some sort of like competitive rock racing gate. So they love it. They absolutely love it. We don't really have enough wheel speed to get proper bouncy on this. Oh, how good are those? That is powder that we're driving through up there. And then we can get up here in the rocks. These are the tires. These are the tires, more than any other that I can think of, that make me say, Hobbywing, just give us a third Fusion. Give us a Fusion SE 3500 or a Fusion Pro 3500. Give us a Fusion pre-runner Fusion. What would they call it? Pre-runner Fusion. Give us something for those guys putting on twin I-beams. Give us something for those guys in bouncers. Give us something higher KV, 3,500 to 4,000, somewhere in there. These would be outstanding because the Fusion would still be able to slow you down enough. Basically what I'm getting at is I want to be able to have a build that does this stuff just really well all the time. Like more speed for the top end. This guy topping out at about 5 miles an hour. I want more speed. I'd like 3 times that. I'd give me 15. I'll take 15 miles an hour. But I still want to be able to do this. I want a proper Hammer King. I want a proper King of Hammers build where I can get myself a buggy that can do this and this. In terms of surface transition, and I mean this, unsurprisingly, I'm sure as a surprise to no one, these might be the tire that I consider the best at it of anything. Like, they are rigid enough to manage this, but they're big enough to get the float. It just... If we were hill climbing, these tires are walking away with it. They're just walking away with it. This is that, there's the wheel of traction. I've spoken about it many times in the past. A tire has a maximum amount of available grip, total available grip. This tire's total available grip is spread far and wide across the map because the compound, the foam, and the tire all agree with each other. This tire is going to get a rock crawling score. That rock crawling score is not going to be very good. It's going to be modestly good. But X factor upon X factor upon X factor, you have to view that this is not a rock crawling tire that is actually fairly good at rock crawling. That's not, we can't say that a lot. We've seen some tires that punch above their weight, but these make a whole new weight class, no pun intended. I don't know what I would change. So well-rounded. I mean, like right here, we're seeing that. I want to see if it can hold it again through. We'll watch that rear end slip down. Get a little slip. Give a little more of the pepper. Come right across. Would I like more forward drive? There's no such thing as too much, I don't think. Theoretically, question mark. But we understand. We understand total available grip, and that if you get something, you have to give to get. There are no free lunches. Increased traction in one aspect is going to be diminished traction in another. It doesn't, unfortunately for us, bound by physics, it doesn't work any other way. Was it a little better? Let's get a little more on the lug. Oh no, it's much better. Is this a VXT2 situation? There we go. Now we're getting some of that lug stutter in the front. Okay. Still though, the wetness makes it such that when we're giving it that little extra, a little bit more beans, a little second helping of beans, it doesn't try to swap ends. We don't get a traction disparity between front and rear. We can just brap. Okay, let's try same maneuver but wet. Look at that. That's all the way up. Oh, little breakdance move. The USD Sticky is a tire that I don't explicitly have a build for, and they make me want to have a build for it. Yeah. We're in a midway point. We're in a middle position. We're in a position of confusion, which is, do we just give them the same score for wet and dry? Because I think they're interchangeable. Or do we just up the score all around? I don't know yet. But I feel like I know now. 94.9. We did indeed bump the scores up a little. A 94.9 for these is not a score that really gives you all the insight you need. I hope you watch the performance of it overall. This is a tire that is not suited to trying to pass through crawler gates or make the steepest of climbs, unless you got that dog in you and you want to try to take that climb with some medium velocity. It does far better than I thought it was going to at very low throttle inputs in some more slippery-ish situations. That's surface transition, though. We know it's going to bump and it's going to bounce and it's going to squirt in every direction if you hit off of a hard object. It is a bouncer tire, and bouncers gonna bounce. there are a lot of tires that should be embarrassed to finish in a lower position than these. And again, Vex Competition Compound was good. Good to the point where, I don't know, good in one of the betterest performances I've seen from a Vex tire. Other manufacturers need to take from this. All manufacturers need to take from this. The biggest problem we have is that we have compounds that work, and then they don't make a tire that matches the compound well enough. The Canyon Trail is the consistent benchmark here in both 1.9 and 2.2, because Traxxas, by design or by accident, doesn't really matter, made a carcass that matches a compound almost perfectly. It doesn't have the maximum amount of total available grip. But the cooperation between the two, and I would put them, like in terms of a tire that can do two things well, 2.2 Canyon Trail, really good at crawling. You can also hoon it around and try to jump it over the levee. So there's definitely an opportunity for you to determine, as the person spending the money, is it a feature or is it a bug? Will you never take advantage of the versatility? In terms of a bouncer tire, I don't know what you could do better. So we've already got a big plus point in the USD Sticky column there. If you're going to try to crawl your bouncer and never bounce, you can do better. If you're looking for this size tire to crawl and never bounce, you can do better. Would these clear mud well? I'm going to say probably, because the lug is so deep and it's almost like a 50-50. You almost have the same amount of negative space as you do rubber. That's generally a positive. You got that nice firm sidewall. You're never going to rip it. It has a lot going for it. Yes, they're expensive. There are a lot of things to take into consideration, and those considerations can only be taken by you, gentle viewer. So please, in between now and when we meet again, at some point in an unknown future, do two things. Take things into consideration, and at least make some small effort to do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time here from the Canyon. The USD Sticky, I am genuinely pleased / surprised, because it's like how I've read Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. I've read it like 4 times in my life, because I forget the book and then I read it again. Forgetting where you put your keys sucks. Forgetting books and movies so that you can watch them again and read them again, that's you know what? That's a silver-ish lining. I don't know if that's a tin lining. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say a silver lining. So if you forget anything I've said, I have, go back and watch it again. You know, time is finite. The universe is infinite. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time. I do. At this point right here, I wish I had a rig that fit these. And at the same time, as pleased as I am, I remember why I replaced them. Know what I'm saying? Right? Everything else is up to you. Still. And always.